So now we're going to talk about neuron structure and function. Remember, a neuron is one of the two important cells of the nervous system. And I want to just label some of these parts. We have the soma or cell body that's indicated here with the nucleus. We have these projections called dendrites where input of information comes in. And then we have this portion of the neuron called the axon, where information travels down in the form of action potentials. The beginning of the axon is called the axon hillock here. And in this example, we have the axon myelinated. The myelin is shown here with the occasional unmyelinated nodes of Ranvier, which regenerate the action potential as the electricity is conducted passively down the myelin. Notice at the terminal end of the neuron, we call these the nerve terminals, and this is where the neurotransmitters can be released onto another cell. And as you can see here, again, the input comes in at the dendrite level, information travels down the axon to the nerve terminal, and then the output through the form of a neurotransmitter. I want to also point out that the neurons here have different shapes and sizes. So some neurons have very long axons. Some neurons have very large diameter axons, or some cases they could be small diameter axons. Some of them have no myelination. Some of them have a little bit of myelination. Some of them have a lot of myelination. Some neurons don't really even have a structure as we have shown here. They have the projections coming out on either side. So there's interesting shapes that you might come across. But this is a good start of understanding what generally a neuron structure looks like and the function. Now, we also can define a couple of other things. When we have somas that are found in the spinal cord or brain, so we have groups of somas or cell bodies in the brain or spinal cord, we call that a nucleus. Plural, if there's many of these nucleus, we call that nuclei. And then if there's groups of somas outside the brain or spinal cord, we call that a ganglion, that's singular, or plural, that's ganglia. Now, this isn't always true. Some structures are not named using this convention. A good example is the basal ganglia. That's a bunch of cell bodies that is in deep within the brain. So that doesn't conform to this nomenclature. And so you just have to pay attention to some of those examples. But in general, this is how you describe clusters of somas in these different regions of the nervous system. And you will come across different ganglion, different nuclei as you're learning about the nervous system.